The biggest game of the day and the one I'm most excited for gets going at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. You got number 25 Boise taking on South Florida. Boise is a 5.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 59.5. Two teams that definitely could be in that mix to get that 12 seed in the college football playoff this season as that group of 5 champion. Boise State, obviously the big question for them. Life without Ashton Jeanty. What is that going to look like? Their quarterback, Maddox Madsen, returns. They should still be good up front on the O-line. Wide receiver room should be pretty decent. They feel good about the running backs that they have replacing Jeanty. And then their defense was awesome last year. Led the nation in sacks. Probably not going to do that again this year, but still should be really good. On the other side, this USF team, one of my favorite group of 5 quarterbacks, Byron Brown, who was banged up for much of last season. He's back healthy, ready to go, and he's really tough to deal with. And I talked about it yesterday. USF, their head coach, Alex Golish, comes from the Josh Heupel coaching tree at Tennessee. You guys know that Tennessee offense that they love to run, high-powered, up-tempo, really are big on spacing and using the entire field. It's a tough defense or offense to prepare for if you are not used to it. So going to be some challenges today for that Boise defense. Chase Kitty gave us a great nugget yesterday about how much teams struggle early on in the season, traveling through multiple time zones. Also something that Boise has to deal with today. So I'm going to take USF plus the 5.5. I think they could be live on the money line at plus 180 as well. How about Ohio and Rutgers today? Rutgers is a 15.5-point favorite. Total in the game is 51.5. Rutgers offense is Callum McManus coming back at quarterback, the former Minnesota quarterback transferred over to Rutgers. Greg Schiano, this is now his 6th season since coming back to Rutgers after that stint with Tampa in the NFL. This might be his best offense that he has had since he has been at Rutgers, so definitely excited about that. And then on the flip side, Ohio, this is going to be one of the best offenses in the MAC conference. Their quarterback, Parker Navarro, is back. Last year, threw for 2,000 yards, ran for 1,000 yards. He was the first Ohio quarterback to ever do that. They also have 6 of their top 7 receivers returning from last year. And their running back, who went to Minnesota last year but was at Ohio the previous 2 years, ran for 1,000 yards at each of those first 2 seasons. He's now back. So they got a lot of playmakers on offense. Meanwhile, Ohio loses a bunch of guys on defense, their entire front 7. So you have 2 offenses. It should be very good in this game. Rutgers feels good about where they are. Ohio has a lot of returning production as well. I'm taking over 51.5 between Rutgers and Ohio. What about East Carolina and NC State? Wolfpack favored by 14 in this game with a total of 61.5. I'm going to take the NC State team total over at 37.5. That is my favorite bet in the game. CJ Bailey is back at quarterback, the sophomore for NC State. Had to play a lot last year because Grayson McCall got injured early on in the season, so there was a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of raw talent there, but Bailey kind of had to work out the kinks last season. Now with the full off season, knowing he's the guy, he should be a lot better. I think NC State's going to put up some points in this game. ECU's defense, not very good. And also their offense, they like to run the air raid offense. Blake Harrell is their head coach. So whenever you have a team that likes to go fast with that air raid offense, always prone to quick 3 and outs. And, you know, if ECU's defense is on the field a lot, if their offense can't sustain drives, just going to give more and more opportunity for NC State to score points. So I like over 37.5, the team total for NC State. What about Jacksonville State and UCF? UCF is a 20.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 53.5. Both teams have new coaches this season. Scott Frost is back at UCF after a couple great years with them about 5-6 years ago. And then Rich Rod left to take the West Virginia job. He was at Jacksonville State. But now Charles Kelly takes over, former Florida State defensive coordinator. Because you have 2 new coaches in this game, 3 touchdown point spread, I'm going to stay away in that one. Wyoming and Akron, we talked about this game way early on in the week. I like the over 47.5. Wyoming's only got 3 defensive starters returning this season. Akron only has 2 defensive starters returning this season. So you got a lot of new on both sides of the ball. Wyoming's going to have to make, obviously, a pretty long road trip going from Laramie to Akron. I think Akron's going to be able to score some points in this game. Joe Moorhead's the head coach, former Mississippi State head coach, Penn State, Oregon offensive coordinator. They have a good quarterback in Ben Finley. Wyoming, on the other hand, they have 9 returning offensive starters. So a lot of new faces on defense for the Cowboys, but a lot of returners on offense. I'm taking the over 47.5 in that game. Buffalo and Minnesota tonight in Minneapolis. The Gophers are a 17.5-point favorite with the total at 43.5. This is an interesting game. Buffalo should be one of the better teams in the MAC this season. Going to have one of the better defenses in the MAC this year. They return 9 starters on that side of the ball. Meanwhile, Minnesota is going to normally be what Minnesota is, right? Anywhere from like a 6 to an 8-win team this season. Big, powerful offensive line, want to run the football, good on defense. They're not really built to win games by like 18, 21, 24 points. So the fact that the line is this high is almost like a little spooky. It's like somebody knows something. I would only take Minnesota because it feels like it's too high, but I'm going to stay away from that one. Nebraska and Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati tonight at +7. Game's going to be played at Arrowhead in Kansas City, so it's going to feel like a home game for Nebraska. I'm big on the Cornhuskers this year, but you guys know they have struggled in one-score games the last decade, and I just don't think it's going to be easy tonight against Cincinnati, who's got a very good defense. The offense should be better than it was last season. I think that game's going to be close. Give me Cincy at +7. And then finally, Miami, Ohio, and Wisconsin tonight. Badgers favored by 17.5. The total in the game is 40.5. Miami of Ohio had to replace all 11 starters on the offensive side of the ball. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Chuck Martin, the head coach at Miami of Ohio, has been coaching there for 12 years, never had to do that. You could be coaching at a school for 30 years, and I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that. So a team that has to replace everybody on the offensive side of the ball going on the road to play against Wisconsin, who's always got a good defense. There's a reason this total is as low as it is at 40.5. I'm taking the under Miami of Ohio and Wisconsin.